What's up, guys? I'm your host, Billy the Kid, and you're watching The Good Stuff. And on this episode, we have an H&K VP9SK. Let's roll some B-roll.
Take it all back, hate the things that you said, 'cause I wish you didn't mean it. I'm under attack, running far, far away, and I'd rather keep my distance from you. You don't got a lot of me to get through. Push and pull me off into the deep, and let's pretend that nothing ever happened on that night.
Alright, y'all. The H&K VP9SK is an excellent choice for concealed carry. H&K has been around for like 70 years. They were founded in 1949 in Germany, which you can see made in Germany here on the magazine. They've given us like some really proven firearms. They machine to very tight tolerances. Militaries love them. Law enforcement loves them. You know, they've given us the MP5, which is arguably the most popular submachine gun on the planet. They've given us the UMP, which is a very popular one in games such as Call of Duty. Also the G3 battle rifle, which you've seen, I'm sure, in many different games and movies over the years. Very high quality products they put out, you know. In 70 years of manufacturing, they pretty much know the haves and have-nots when it comes to making a quality firearm. So let's take this thing to the table and go over it, and then we'll get out to the range. Alright, so positive things to talk about here. Ambidextrous controls. Your slide release and your mag release are ambi. It is European style mag release. A lot of people don't like it. I find it to be just fine. I don't have to break my grip as bad as I do to press thumb releases on this side, but lefties, you know, they're not gonna have a problem just popping that down with a trigger finger. I can't catch it with my thumb, not without really breaking my grip, but I do like the trigger finger manipulation, you know. I find it pretty easy to use. Your ambidextrous slide lock, so typical on this side, very positive, easy to catch with the thumb. And then for your lefties, same thing, very positive, very easy to catch with the thumb. The cocking serrations, front and back, very positive, easy to get a hold of to do press checks and things like that. You know, I don't find it hard at all to grip and manipulate the firearm. I like these fins. See these added fins that kind of protrude off of there? They do a good job of allowing you to just, I mean, you can just grab those things like nobody's business and give this thing a good rack. Same thing with this, you know, like it gives me a good place to index my finger, and I can just get a hold of this thing and go to town with it, and I really like those. I don't foresee them getting hung up on anything. You know, when you go to draw your firearm, I don't see them, you know, catching or hanging up on anything. And when I reholster, I deliberately look my gun back into my holster. I'm not in a rush. I really like that they have this line here machined on the slide, so as you're rising your gun to get sights, you know, your eyes automatically find that line and they just follow them to the front sight. I actually purchased this firearm myself. I was in Peter's shop at Pelican State Armory and Supplies in Mandeville, and I walked in, I seen it, you know, I'd looked at them before and knew a little bit about them, but never really held one or anything. I know that they retail for like $700, and I also know that these sights that are not stock were about 150 bucks, and the gun retailed for $700. So you're looking at roughly $850, maybe $750 depending on who you're dealing with. Peter had a sticker on this thing with 600 bucks, and I couldn't leave without it. And what really sold me on it, though, you know, is if you don't like the way a gun feels and you don't think you're gonna like the way it shoots, then there's really no point. But this is like the first firearm that the ergonomics, this thing fits my hand so perfect. When I press this gun out in front of my face, I instantly have a sight picture, and that's every single time. Every single time I get my grip and I press this gun out in front of my face, the sights fall exactly perfect for me to have a sight picture. So that really makes for a first shot on target, you know, from draw to press out to your first shot. And that's what I want in a concealed carry firearm, is whatever gun I can see to hit my target. That's what I want, you know. And also the ergonomics allow me to control and manage the recoil of this firearm very well. Makes for rapid follow-up shots, and that's also something I want in concealed carry. You know, I want to be able to put as many shots on target as possible in a quick amount of time and eliminate that threat. Trigger on this thing is super sweet, a little bit over 4 pounds, like 4.5 pounds. Here's your take up, there's your wall. So we got, I mean, very minimal. And then there's the brake, reset, brake, coming back. Very minimal, y'all. Very, very fine firearm to shoot. You know, they've been doing this for 70 years. They know what they're doing now. It's just a really, the modularity of it, the fact that you can change out these straps and change out to get whatever you want, whatever kind of feeling you want. You have a striker indicator right here. I don't know if y'all can see that red. I let you know it's cocked. You pull the trigger, it disappears. You cock, red, so you know you're good to go. You have a loaded indicator right here. I'll go ahead and pull this barrel block out. So there's my barrel block. I got a barrel block in the mag. I'm gonna put a dummy round in here. All right, I'm gonna load that up. And you can see, let's see, this extractor right here protrudes ever so slightly, but it has a red line on it. I don't know if y'all can see that. And that red line lets you know that you're loaded. So I can see that I'm loaded. I draw that out. And then it lays back flat to where you can't see it whatsoever. Just a really, really nice quality concealed carry firearm. This one's 13+1. You can get them 10+1 or 13+1. And let's see here. Take a look at the internals real quick. You got to drop the mag to take it down, but you do not have to pull the trigger, which is very safe way of taking a firearm down. I like that. All the internals are very robust and coated. I mean, no complaints here. Very, very well machined, very tight. The internals are the same way, all coated, very, very, very nicely machined. A little dirty, of course. I'm notorious about keeping everything spotless. I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all a trigger pull here in just a second. But yeah, I mean, you just can't beat it. If you notice, there's no slop. Another tight firearm, y'all. I put H&K, CZ, and probably FN in their own league, above Glock, Springfield, and Smith & Wesson. You know, not that there's anything wrong with those guns. It's just you get what you pay for. You're gonna pay between $400 and $500 for a Glock, a Springfield, or Smith & Wesson. You know, you're gonna pay between $200 and $300 for your Tauruses, you know, some of your lower end Smith & Wessons and other ones. And then, you know, these HKs and these CZs and FNs, you're gonna pay $600 or $700. And it's the price goes with what you're getting. And these are in their own league. And I mean, they're just very, very dependable. They're gonna go bang every time. I'm gonna stop talking, pull the trigger on this, and then get y'all out to the range so y'all see what it does. 413. At an average of 4 pounds, 10 ounces, 10.9. So very nice trigger on that. Right around where you want to be for a concealed carry. Y'all, this thing is just quality. Quality, quality, quality. So let's go see what it does on the range.
I'd rather keep my distance from you. You don't got a lot of me to get through. Push and pull me off into the deep and let's pretend that nothing ever happened on that night.
Let's go for it again. .289. I don't know if I dropped my shot on this gong or not. I did get my A's there though. All right, so here's what we're doing. We're gonna press out, take us 2 shots on our left target, transition to the right, take 2 more shots, and then slow down for the gong in the middle, 1 shot. That was in a 3-7-2. And this is running flawlessly. I've had 2 hiccups, 1 failure to battery, which I believe is going to be a headspace issue with my reloaded ammunition, and I had 1 that misfire or a failure to detonate. I'm pretty sure that it's a bad primer because the strike looks like a good heavy strike. Definitely looked like it struck it plenty hard enough to detonate it. So I'm thinking that's a bad primer. All right, let's see what we get. So here's just a fun one to do. I'm going to take the ball, the square, steel, and then finish up on the big one from 10 yards. All right, so what's the verdict? Well, we had 2 failure to fires, 1 failure to feed, which is a headspace issue, something that you learn about when you learn about reloading. This is a headspace gauge. It tells you if your bullets are within spec to be chambered. So if you notice how this one is sticking up higher than the rest, that tells me that it is why the VP9 failed to go into battery when this round was being chambered, because it's not within spec. And then if you notice, all of these are flat. They chambered just fine, okay, but these 2 had great primer strikes, but they didn't detonate. And this one right here is a factory loaded ammunition. 2 reasons these here may not have gone off. One is that the primer itself was compromised, whether it be due to oils on your hands or, you know, they just might have been bad. The other is when you are reloading ammunition, you are seating that primer in that casing. So when you crank that handle, if you don't completely bottom that handle out and make sure that it completely seats that primer, it can be left sticking up ever so slightly. And what can happen is when that striker hits that primer, it just seats it down in that casing, you know, ever so much, and that could be enough to take away the force needed to detonate that primer. So y'all understand what went on with that. That was the couple issues I had with the gun. The only other issue I had is with a couple of my magazines. I have 3 mags and I bought this gun used. Two of my magazines, after I inspected, the springs are just a little weaker than what I would like. And what that causes is, first off, make sure that we're unloaded. I know we are, but I want y'all to know. So when you put an empty mag in there, it pushes this lock up, all right? Or whenever you fire the last round, the follower and the magazine, okay, this is the follower, when it, right there on that little ledge, right, come on, focus, right there, okay, when this follower comes up, that ledge pushes your slide lock up. So when the slide comes back that last time, that follower locks it for you. All right, but if your spring's weak, it's barely gonna catch like you see here. Okay, this thing should lock back because there's an empty mag in it, but it's just barely pushing it up. So I could just, I mean, touch it. Y'all see, I'm putting like, I could probably just tap it. You see what I'm saying? So I'm having that issue as well. I could get some springs to replace in my mag, and that would fix the issue. Also, what could be contributing to that, I'm gonna take this down right quick. If you notice, okay, on the slide lock, right there where it contacts, that piece of metal there, where it contacts the slide, it's very smooth and rounded. So, you know, this gun might have had several thousand rounds put through it. I don't know. I don't really care because I know it's still a good firearm and I got it at a great price. But just that wear there could be enough to not give it enough positive contact. If the magazines were tight, like the good mag that I have, the spring's tight in it, it's locking positively all the way up each and every time. But because of the times that it barely goes up, it's rounding that edge over. So a little bit of Dremel work there to make some more positive contact could definitely help with the issue. But those are the issues that I experienced on the range with this. Do I think it's VP9's fault or I'm sorry, H&K's fault? No, it's just normal things that happen. I've diagnosed it. I'll get some new springs. Check it out again. If I have any issues there, then I might let H&K handle it. But as far as I'm concerned, that's it. And that's nothing to toss out a quality firearm or you know, that's probably why this one might have been sold. And I would not sell this quality of firearm for the price of, you know, a couple $10 springs and some magazines, or new magazines altogether if you wanted to, although they are expensive. So I really like it. I think it's a perfect quality firearm for defensive carry, and I'm very happy to have it. So I'll get those issues worked out, and I'll do an update, you know, a few months down the road. I'd like to get several thousand of my own rounds through this thing and let y'all know how she's holding up and what I continue to think of it. So thank y'all for watching. On next episode, next week, we're going to be introducing this Strike Industries compensator. And what's really cool about this compensator is no threaded barrel needed. Okay, you replace the guide rod and it bolts straight on, and it also has the flexibility to move with recoil. Should make for a really flat shooting you know, Glock. You can put these on 19s, 17s and different models, and they come in around like the $90 price point. I'm not real sure, but these are super new. You know, you can't really get your hands on them, and I really appreciate Steven for bringing this by for me to check out, because I don't know if or when I would have had a chance to play with one of these, and it does seem very interesting, and the cutouts are really nice. So tune in next week to see how that does, and see if just that little add-on with no threaded, you know, will help make this shoot flatter. And I have a suspicion that it absolutely will. So thanks for watching, y'all. I'll see y'all on next week, and I appreciate the support. We hit 100 subscribers this week. Thank y'all. So like and subscribe and share with your friends. Peace.